Going upstream. Closing Crunchyroll. Opening Twitch. Muting my computer.
A lot of things to do, huh?
Alright, there's an ad playing.
Nice.
We
Gotta love Twitch.
Pepsi.
I hate that when you're trying to watch something live and it's just like, oh, you want to watch this 30-second ad first, though, right? You don't want to watch the stream right now.
Yep, you're coming through, Sai. And I should be also coming through with being on the Bronze Tacos account. So hello and welcome everyone to this late night / early morning edition of Bronze Tacos League Overwatch with some mild tier replay code action. This was a match that was played this last Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central between Britiny Fears and Effie Zulus. And tonight for commentary we have Fritz, myself on cams, and we have Sidomia as well for main commentary.
Nice to be here.
Now, Sai, we just know that this match went to 5 maps, and neither of us actually knows which team won, so it's gonna be a roller coaster.
Both gone in completely blind. Could be pretty fun.
So
I've also been pronouncing Effie's wrong the whole time, I think, because I've been saying Effie's, so that's the thing. It's good to know.
Yeah. Alright, so naturally we won't have to wait for swaps from either team, so I guess without further ado, we can just get right into the first map in 3, 2, 1, load.
Welcome to Oasis.
Alright, first map for this match was Oasis. Definitely a map that has some diversity between the points. Not as stark diversity as certain control point maps, but nonetheless has a lot of diversity in it.
So I quite like Oasis. You can see a lot of brawl on some points like University where we're starting off. You can get a lot of the Winston, especially on, I don't actually know the name of it. The one in the middle with the jump pad, that one.
City Center?
It's a good map. Yeah, City Center, that's it.
5, 4,
I know a lot of people actually really dislike Oasis. Never understood that myself.
Round 1. Capture the
You
objective.
see both teams starting out with the Rhine comps. We've got Ryan Zaya from Britney's, the Ryan Diva on Eefies. Quite different DPS lineups here.
Teams going
Quite
on
a lot of diversity across these various brawl comps here.
As you see, alright, Britiny Fears occupying the point. Charging in is the Reinhardt for
Nice
Effie's
counter-charge there
going
by
down. Low.
Yarbos.
Immortfield coming out, gets killed immediately though. Counter Immortfield also comes out, but eventually gets burned as well. Swaps on both sides. Effie's bringing it back though. However, it's still anyone's fight here with these DPS popping off on each team. However, it looks like it will likely be Effie's taking this first fight unless the Cypher can clutch up. And Sammy going down. This could clutch it up here.
There's a lot of back and forth this fight already.
The Cypher holding down the point thus far.
And the Reinhardt and the Diva back to Britney's.
And Britney's managing to cap point.
That was a really amazing fight. You had the Reinhardt going down early from I think it was Eefies.
Yep.
But then Britney's got a lot of picks. Was it vice versa? Can't remember. And somehow that went the other way in the end.
Ooh, Hunter getting the better of Cypher in that 1v1 on the side. Window is investing here. Hunter.
Oh! That was a big high noon there. Hunter actually went down while trying to use post bomb. Got cancelled there by the Lucio. Good beats, counter the bomb there. Oh, the shot is big.
Ooh.
Picks are going the way of Britney's here. A lot of OCs from both teams though.
Hey, Yarble's just able to use his shatter to mitigate nerf his shatter. and give his team a better hand up here and just holding on to the point as we have 64-65% progress for Britiny. As again,
Britiny can be very happy with that fight. EP's burned a lot of ults. They still have point control. Oh, that is an early pick again by Hunter though onto Lily. Oh,
a big boot!
I didn't see that, but that's a massive boot.
The Yarbo's being turned onto Nerf. That could keep this point held in their favor.
Rays are just very hard to push into, I think, as the issue APs might be having with the Mei there.
Cypher just doing a lot of work also on this soldier. Bombs is on the point. Window invested here by Effie trying to keep it alive, but window counter invested by Britiny's, and that likely will seal this point as Britiny's obtain 0.1 to go up 1-0 on the map over Effie's.
Score 1-0.
That was really solid play from the look of it, just by both Cypher on the side of Britiny's as well as Britiny's staying together and really brawling it out. Whereas on the other side, Effie's, it seemed like they staggered in from time to time and weren't, you know, making a group effort pushing into the point without getting picked early on in the fight.
There were a lot of fights there. Effie's did get the first pick on the on Soldier. Hunter was doing really well to get in position to take Soldier out, but as you said, it just seems like Britney's were just staying strong on point. They just couldn't get into them really. I think honestly something higher damage directly into the front of them with the Ryan Mei. I mean, I love Junkrat, so I'm happy to see Hunter on Junkrat here. I think that might be good considering the Mei comps they're playing. Oh, a huge wall though.
Both Ryan's out already.
Good poke fight here. Big pick by the Lucio onto the jump though. Treebeard is just popping up right now.
The Treebeard putting in a lot of work on Lucio.
Yeah, that was a free K there. As well as the double boop on first point. Just woken up and decided to just murder everything really. You love to see it. Truth is taking a flank on the high ground here. Let's see if he can get a pick. Good pressure by the D.Va to push him off. Oh, and the Rhine going down again. That's some big picks from EPs here. Just Lucio left on point. Do they see him? Okay, I think they see him.
See, Treebeard stalling out this point.
Did a good job to contest it, get an extra few percent there.
See, this is, so EP's finally managing to get some progress now, 47% on the side of Britney's, and 7-8% on the side of Effie's. But, you know, looking at it, a lot of ultimates built up by both these teams. It's going to be a matter, I think, this fight, who gets better value out of their ultimates.
You'd like to see Britney's use some ults early here to engage. When you're attacking, you have to, else you can have something like this happen. That's what's up there. Honestly, it's potentially still winnable. They, EPs did use both DPS ults, but the Immortality and the Sound Barrier mitigated most of that damage.
See, Yarble's trying to push on the point. Shatters into the Orisa shield, unfortunately. And Nerf able to clean up after the fact.
Time to raise my BTL. Routing tower to forward barrier.
The way the fight turns again so quickly, Britney's had a good couple picks, but just once again when it came to fighting on point, the fight just flipped.
See, we see still 4 ultimates here online on the side of Britiny.
I wonder
Only
if...
3 though.
Oh, okay,
for
hit.
Effie.
And no, flanking behind, putting the mail on point. That's a huge freeze.
Ooh!
That was a very late shadow there. You might regret using that.
Then it was shut down to boot.
I really like the flank Mei ult that Britney's went for there. The Mei pushed behind with the ult and it allowed the rest of the team to push into them and get some picks. It was a really smart play.
But I say that was a really good job. The only thing I didn't like about what Britney's did is they used all of their ultimates.
Yeah, they did. They pressed
and
a lot of triangles.
There's still a Bongo and a Visor on the other side. Here comes Bongo initiate.
Using that earlier smart here. They do need to be careful about the Reinhardt. He is not too far from ult. Oh, and
Here comes the Visor.
Really good soldier ult there. The Rein did pin. Sorry, Ify's Rein did. I'm getting teams confused.
Effie's his team 2, Britney's his team 1.
Yes. Yabbles did pin Punk up on the side, but Soldier did fight that really well.
Hunter.
Huge early pick.
Britney's doing a lot of picks here.
A good beat there to keep them into the fight when they're down the Rhine.
Surrender to my will.
Cole coming out just to keep them all alive. Both teams are doing a good job of rotating around the pillar here to avoid taking damage while they're down players.
Ooh, Cypher getting killed out of Visor.
Let's get down. Oh, the bomb inside them. The ults from EPs do seem to be getting a lot of value here. It's just the Lucio and the D.Va on point. Oh, Lucio gets 2, but unfortunately... I'm not sure if that's technically a C9, it's a bit more pushed off point, but unfortunately there for Britney's EPs do get the cap.
Say, Treebeard trying to do some kind of redditing on the side here is Lucio. Just, unfortunately at the end, went off the point momentarily to secure the kills, which needed to be done, so... Just unfortunate that there wasn't anyone else that could remain on point while doing it.
I think it was the exact same time that D.Va boosted up into the air to avoid getting demagged. Unfortunately, Beard also just stepped off the point to confirm the kill, so it's just bad timing there. It just happens, unfortunately.
Right, coming out
very close fights though, even when one team's winning a fight, it's very back and forth.
So we see now a Ball Reinhardt comp versus a Rein Sigma comp. So a double shield versus a shield and a ball. The Crazy Mage getting deleted early in this fight.
Here come the trades again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just so back and forth. It does look like it's going the way of Britney's here. He's got to clean up the Moira. He's doing a really good job to stay alive on point. The Wrecking Ball.
So Britney just needs to secure kills and finish this. Which they should,
do get the Moira out.
Oh,
but Ball's contested again. Oh, unfortunately. Only took a millisecond to go into the air, and that is cap. You just want to see EPs regroup here, which it looks like they are.
See, Crazy Mage already able to build up mines. There the mines are. Pinning in is Nerf. Gets a kill on the Cypher.
Oh, gets the pick. Very low
Critical health though.
And does go down. Really good beat there to allow Britney's Ryan to stay aggressive when EPs was really low health. Rose finished the fight win in the end there. And again, Britney's going to be really happy with that fight because any ults that EPs did have, they used. Meanwhile, on the side of Britany's, you've got John Colt coming up, Soldier coming up, you've already got Sigma ult. Massive ult economy here. A big shadow from CM Punk though could change this fight completely. Oh, and it is big! Junk goes down in sleep, but Ryan does get taken down. There's the pick for Britney's again. But again with the ult economy, only one ult used there from Britney's. It was only one ult as well from the side of EP's, but they're sitting with both DPS ults on defense with one fight needed effectively. It's a really nice place to be. Comes Soldier early. That's a huge pick. Both supports down. And the 3k too. Huge fight there from Billy. Oh, the shutdown too on the Blossom. And that will be the fight and the map going the side of Britney's.
Alright. So definitely well played the whole way through by Britney's, I think, throughout that first map. Obviously, we don't get to see play of the game.
Oh, that is sad, actually.
That's actually very sad.
I'm curious if it would have been that visor at the end of the map there. It might not have been.
I think it would have been the visor at the end, just
that was such a good visor there,
and then having other damage.
Early. Yeah. Yep. That's what you like to see though when you're holding a point like that. You want to see the DPS ults used early, just to make it so that the team just can't approach the point.
Absolutely, but see, because people always underestimate the value of like a zoning ultimate. And, I know it's a meme, like, oh, it's a zoning bomb. But like, no, the thing is, it's actually
I definitely throw my fair share of zoning bombs.
But the thing is, it's an actual thing though, right? Just because if
exactly.
wherever you chuck it, they can't be there. It's just sometimes
space means everything in Overwatch.
It's just
being able to control
sometimes
the space
it's just sometimes you zone the top of jail on Hollywood where the team's not holding.
Right. Just being able to basically say, no, you're not able to use the space right now, and just completely take away the sight lines they may have, the holding the high ground. That's just can be really important in Overwatch. I think it's something that some people will completely underestimate. But just being able to basically say, no, you have to fight here, and then we can focus all our damage through this choke where they now have to play through because they've had anywhere else they can approach shut off by the Soldier ult, for example. Even not getting picks can just help a fight so much if you can zone properly.
100%. So obviously we don't know what swaps occurred before we load into the next map. So I guess without further ado, shall we head into map 2 Numbani?
Yep, sounds good.
Alright, loading in 3, 2, 1, now. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams shake up lineup-wise.
I would really like to see some Winston. I was kind of disappointed we mostly got, I think, did we have anything other than Ryan on map 1? I don't believe we did. We had Orisa and Sigma actually.
Yep, we did. It was Orisa Sig, yeah.
I would like to see some Winston. It's such a good Winston map. It's one of my favorites personally.
So looks like we are going to see Winston Diva out of Effie's here on the attack, more of a dive style.
There we go. That's exactly what I like to see here on attack. That is a classic. That's a classic Pharah dive comp. One of the best comps you can run on this map, in my opinion. And you've got to look at that sim if you're EPs, you've got to think that's a good dive target here.
If they can dive the
Time to raise my APM. This will restore you.
So Chuck going down early to the dive. Hunter going down eventually to the turrets, but Private Pile, that's a lot of the damage now down on the side of...
Well, the trades again. Sim is still alive actually. If Sim can stay, okay, I was gonna say if Sim can stay high charge here, get back into the fight. That is gonna be a quick point cap though. And that's what you get with dive when you're playing against stuff like Ana and Sim. You can just, in theory, take them out of the fight so quickly. And just the displacement as well. They completely scattered Britney's, which is what you want to do with that comp.
See, Britiny is swapping onto double hit scan, trying to just hard counter this Pharah.
They are chasing the Ana and the Zarya here.
I don't know if that's
gonna get out.
the right move on the side of Britney to do that.
That's
a big pulse bomb.
This is just really good aggression here from Ephys. You have one on point for most of that fight. I think they just sat the Lucy on point, and the rest of them just push up and get picked and keep pressing them back. They didn't even allow Britney's to group up. They had 2 split spawn and they just punished them. Oh, a huge pick though. I just realized Treebit is in fact across to the DPS from the support. So that's an interesting swap there.
Oh my gosh, I just realized their names up top are different from the names in the kill feed.
That is such a time bank going into third point here. 5 minutes 40 on the clock. The EPs. This might be the harder point to play this dive on into. So it'll be interesting to see if they are forced to swap. Bomb coming out. Oh, and bomb's big, especially with the Winston displacing them there, pushing them around into the bomb. Good pick from the Zarya onto the Tracer here. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. You are seeing the contest come out, more on point. Pretty nice pick on the Pharah earlier with the Soldier as well, allowing the res to get off. Again, talking of zoning provided from the Soldier made it so that Mercy could just get that res off in front of them. Oh, huge grab on the side here. Both tanks are caught. Looks like they can't quite team-mech the Diva though. Another big pick there from Treebeard onto Hunter. Oh, the bomb though. Mercy is still using Valk, which means she can keep them alive here. Mitigate the loss of one of their healers a bit. Huge pick from Lily onto Pharah. And the res again, really good res there. It's getting the Mercy out. This has been such a long fight. This has been one long fight for over a minute and a half now. Trades go in every direction again. Every time I think the team's gonna win, they just keep getting the respawns in. Another massive res there for Bao. These reses are really impressive actually. Mine's just zoning them off point here, and Diva and Winston are kind of trapped. They will in fact demech Diva. You kind of have to wonder if at this point EPs just want to go for a hard reset. These trade fights, I don't know, the trade fights like, oh, that's a huge false. Well, never mind. Hunter can just get a 2k and the Widow can also get 2 headshots in a second. That was huge plays from the DPS there.
Let's say that'll do it.
Score.
That was a long fight though. Britney's gonna be pretty happy with how much time they shaved off. They went into that point with 5 minutes 40 and they got it down to 3:12, and that was literally just one long fight there. 2.5 minutes long, but...
So 100%, because those long drawn out fights typically favor the defending side with the spawns. But Eppies were able to keep in the fight long enough and not have as many on their side go down. Whereas Britney's kind of had a continual cycle where 2 or 3 were going down at one time, so they just, they were always in stall mode, never in finishing.
I was gonna say, they definitely weren't letting them regroup properly there. Britany's were just unable to. It almost felt like they couldn't focus the targets. They're too busy trying to keep everyone alive, which makes sense in that sort of situation. And again, that's just kind of what you get from dive. If the target focus is there, then it's just constant quick picks, which is what was happening a lot there.
As we see, again, Winston D.Va on defense, this time with an Ashe Reaper on the side of Effie's. On the other side, we're seeing Reinhardt paired with
5, 4, 3,
a D.Va
1.
with Reaper Soldier on the DPS line on attack.
Objective A.
Interesting. The dive defense could be a little bit harder to pull off, but their dive is looking strong, so I'm sure they're going to do good on it. They do have the Reaper too, just to apply so much frontline pressure though as they try and come through the stairs. Oh! Trades again. Winston going down on the side of Efi's. Reinhardt down on Britany's. And that's a huge res again. Cat this time for Efi's getting a res onto Crazy. All the back and forth picks yet again. D.Va does get remexed, but Winston does go down here. And I think this is gonna be a clean up here for. Yeah, this is just clean up for Britany's. It's a good fight win, taking it in similar time actually.
Objective A captured. Escort the
Very back and forth picks again in that fight, but Britiny did do a really good job at making sure they had their target focus, making sure they're getting people out of their easiest targets. Final popped early here. Flanking Ashe. Don't see that very often. Let's see how that works out. Big blossom on point to take out the Immortal and the Bab. And that's just me clear up again, Britany's. Pretty good early blossom there. She's been putting on the work on the DPS as well actually.
Cypher just pushing the payload.
Well, one point here is actually behind the team. If they can push in here while Bob's contesting, they could potentially get a good fight. But Bob has been booped back off point, and that's just cap. You need to want to be careful here. They're using a lot of ults when point is already capped. Even if they win a fight here, it would be better to win it around the corner, in my opinion. Oh, that shatter is huge. That's a massive shatter. And Britany's aggression just keeps going. They cannot contain them right now. Huge picks though from the Hanford.
Say that. That'll hinder it.
Even though Britany's is still on point here, the respawns are all coming in and there's just the two left from Britany's. They have to back out. Yeah, that's very smart though. That was huge plays by the DPS again from EPs.
See through the dragon's eyes.
And you do see Hunters using a swap from the Reaper onto the Tracer. Maybe she wants to poke their backbone a little bit more.
See that which is unseen. Better.
Coming into this fight though, you got to look at the old economy for Britany's. His beat used very early though, allow him to get aggressive. And the Blossom's good. Tracer is just poking in the backline though, doing so much here. Almost got up Pulse Bomb already. Mercy does go down. Oh, huge shatter on the side there. And the cleanup again from Ephys. What a flip again in that fight.
So an unfortunate bomb they're coming out by Yarbles. Could have been something more. It was just unfortunately at the wrong time when, as he chucked bomb a couple on his team,
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was actually as the bomb was in the air, and that's always so frustrating when that happens because it does mean you're down that ult. Trying to pressure the Tracer here, but Tracer does get out. I do like the Leafy's too smart though, and they saved the pulse bomb, and that's an early pick on the soldier, and that's why it's so important to save that. And they have built up trans. Looks like at the moment, Brittany's just happy to hold this high ground while they wait for their respawns.
So I like that Brittany's being patient here right now and actually getting a full regroup now.
Do you see the Ryan swap here?
Yeah.
Oh, huge picks again from Ranavir. Trans used well there to keep everyone alive. And again, Britiny just choosing to respawn, regroup even. The only issue here with running the Ryan Winston from Britney's is that Reaper can just effectively free farm the front line. They do have the stun with McCree at least, so they can punish, but something to be aware of. You shatter again. Pretty nice hold to engage there. Pretty start getting the picks. Rally comes out to keep all of EPs alive. Reaper does go down. Trying to build up blocks in there, but not quite there. Oh, the pin! That was a huge charge there from Crazy. And it looks like EPs are holding this again.
So Nerf making the swap onto Zarya here. Honestly, I like it. And just to be able to mitigate, again, some of the aggression and burst that's coming out of.
Especially with Lily on the fire, you just got up charged too easily. That was a massive trans there. Helped save the shattered right heart. Grab on
Big
point is
grab.
massive, can they follow up? Oh, but the McCree ult held that perfectly and made sure he gets some picks. That was a massive McCree ult there. That's a trade there with the barrage. It's like if they can get their target focus here, I think they can clean up this fight.
Okay,
A good block on the shadow does hit Lucio, but Ryan blocks it for the rest of the team. Cole being used to keep the team alive. Oh, that's a massive pick from Hunter on the Moira. And here come the picks from EPs. And the grab too on point. V comes out, does keep him alive temporarily. With a soldier roll. And that is going to be cleanup, and that is going to be map.
Alright, so at least we don't have our dread situation as now the series is tied up 1-1. We were worried that it was going to be one team started off 2-0. It's like, well, I wonder who wins the next two matches.
I wonder who the next two, right? Could be anyone. But yeah, going in, still no idea where the rest of this game's going to go. That was a really good map. Both teams had really good attacks on first 2 points, but Britany's were just stalled out there completely on point C. I think EPs were using ults extremely well, and they were making sure they were getting early picks. There were a lot of trades again, a lot of back and forth fights, but it did seem like when that was happening, the EPs were just getting the better hand of it, like maybe just one more pick each time, and it was allowing them to stabilize.
So I think Effie's just had a lot better target focus at times, and
Mhm.
probably better comms than Britney's did. I could see just in watching Britney's, they had a good plan, they had good mechanics with how they were going in throughout that map. It's just they weren't a cohesive unit as they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Effie's, there were times that they were not coordinated in their dives or how they did stuff, but it was more so than Britney's were.
Right, right.
So again, the series is currently tied 1-1. Don't know what the swaps are, as this is a broadcast based off of codes from Wednesday night. So we're heading into then the next is the third map, Escort, which is Gibraltar. Sai, any predictions before we head into this map?
I'd be interested to see if Eefies keep running the dive here, because it's another pretty strong dive map. You can definitely run the Winston Diva, and they've been making it work on Nimbani, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we see that come out. And I want to see if Britiny can adapt a bit better to deal with that, because they just seem to be struggling a little bit. Maybe honestly, if it does happen, they might just need to switch off of the Reinhardt, so we'll see if they do that. But I could definitely see dive coming out from Eefies.
I'm going to predict one of these teams is going to run double bubble.
Interesting. Who do you think it's going to be?
That I would not be able to tell you. But I bet you one of them is going to run double bubble.
I could honestly see Eefies doing that on their attack. I'm not sure. I'd be interested to see if Britney's going to do it. They seem to be, if they can, trying to stick to the Rhine comps, which, it's fine. But we'll see if they do decide to run it.
Alright, so without further ado, let's head into map number 3 in 3, 2, 1, now.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar. Ready for battle.
Well, see right now, Effie's showing a dive comp, and Britney's showing a double shield comp.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Interesting. I'm not too surprised to see Eefies running the dive. As I said, it did work out really well for them. Nubani, they're probably just going into this thinking, we'll just do what we did again. We'll just keep doing that. The Rhine Sigma, I don't think Britney's have run that so far. Unless I'm wrong, I know they run...
Yeah, they did on...
Did they?
Third Point Oasis.
Oh, okay. There you go then. You got better memory than me. Let's see how it works for them. Just Sombra Tracer. Very, very traditional dive actually here. What's out? He is used early from Shadows. Who's across the support now? Interesting. Huge pick onto the Winston. And now when you get these brawly fights on point, you have to feel that's going to favour Britney's with the Reinhardt Sigma. Anytime it devolves into a brawl, I think EPs are going to really struggle to push into that.
Absolutely, I mean, with the DPS being a Tracer Sombra especially, like, there's not a lot that they're going to be able to do against the Reinhardt Sigma. Like, yeah, it's constant poke damage, but without the cleave additional of the Winston, it's not going to amount to enough to be able to get that Reinhardt down in health.
That's a huge early pick on the Tracer.
Especially with
and the Mercy going down.
Double main supports.
I was going to say, there's a lot of healing on the side of Britney's. To out-damage this with this comp, they're going to have really good target focus, and they're going to have to try and isolate targets.
Yeah, well, the side of Effie is, again, it's a lot of healing with the Mercy Baptiste. As we see
and they do switch to the Rhine, which might be just because of how much healing they have, and they realize it's going to be hard to dive that. I think that might be a good switch here. And they also swap to the Junkrat. Oh, who does go down early though. Good pick by Kali.
Oh, Shadow from the Heavens.
Huge mortality there though.
I can respect the Shadow from the Heavens.
Every time I try that, it just never works.
See, that's the thing, it never works until it does.
Right, and then it looks really cool.
Then you got a highlight for all eternity, like, yo, watch this off the top rope.
Oh, massive sleep there onto the Reinhardt. If they could just focus this back without working the Rhine, so they can't get him out in time. Mortality on point, and Soul Drill from the high ground. Nano Soul Drill. And that will be, this will be fight win here. They just gotta clean up. Quite a few ults in the end from Britany's, but they do win the fight, but it does leave the ult economy quite strongly for EFeast here. Who I wonder if they're just gonna do, they might just do an EMP bomb here.
Yep.
Yeah, that would not surprise me.
So, EMP bomb, it's all on private pile to use the lamp correctly. Spectate private pile here. He has to be displaced enough to not get caught. And be able to
I wonder if Britany's aware of it. They're very split right now, almost like they're trying to avoid the big EMP bomb. They're hugging the high ground well, but then the Rhine does go down there. So much damage focused into him. Interesting.
Wow.
A lot of OCUs, but not actually the ones I was expecting. You saw the EMP come out and then the shatter.
And the window and Valk?
I feel like that was honestly an overuse on ults by quite a bit there. EFeast did get 2 early picks. I think using a couple of those ults to confirm the fight is a good idea, but they might regret using quite so many. Especially giving up on that powerful combo.
I'm honestly just kind of confused. It's like how quickly that happened. They were just fighting and then it was just... Britany's just weren't able to touch at the end. That's why, like, especially when you're able to get to the point where... like, the point is obtained.
Nice picks there from the Junkrat.
Oh. Sorry to clean up.
But yeah, it is unfortunate, especially as both teams did put a lot of resources into that fight at the end of point A. Britany's, I can't remember exactly what they used, but I think they used 2 or 3 ults as well.
See, I'm gonna predict Nano Flux to make sure the Sigma doesn't die.
That'd be interesting.
But he's gonna get hacked out. And the private pile's gonna window, and Nora gonna get a 4K.
We'll see if that happens.
The private pile's gonna window, and Nora gets a 4K.
Honestly, I'd like to just see window used early here to allow Lily to build up an ultimate, and then just use the nano visor. I think that could be a good play. Nice rotation here on the high ground. EFe's just deciding they really wanted to take the spaceship, which I think is smart. Oh, huge pin. But on a surprise? Very confused. Really nice high noon there, but the trades are coming in again, and here's a bomb. Huge immortality. Again, of all the trades, making it really hard to tell which way this is going.
Well,
And that's a huge pick there from Truth onto Reinhardt, and it does look like EFe's are getting the better picks. I noticed the Sammy on the Reinhardt was holding the top left corner there just to stop any respawns coming through from Britany's, which is pretty smart. Soldier ult used. Oh, a huge pick on the Mercy. And Sigma is touching on point, and that's some huge picks. Lily doing a really good job on the Soldier here. Really big anti there on the Reinhardt, and that will be at least a temporary hold from Britany's. They do have 1 fight left in them for EFe's, if they can manage to get someone to touch. They do have, is that McCree I think in the back? Yeah, McCree is probably the one they need to touch. I think, no, okay, they're gonna touch. Huge Sigma early though. Good high noon, but the picks are just there for Britany's, and here's all the ultimates. And that will just be clean up.
wow.
Unfortunately, when they lost the fight with about 15 seconds left, that just took away the chance that they would have had a full group fight there.
Let's see, because at that point you need to have someone touch, and then Effie's unfortunately it was more of a trickle touch rather than having just one person
Right.
go, than trying to get a group to push in afterwards.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, Britney's had 5 ultimates built up.
Yeah, that was always going to be a really hard fight to push into.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it just ended up with an ult party on point, which, you know, they can afford to do at that point, Britney's, because they know that they've got the hold. And they did use their ults well.
They don't. Ultimates do not carry over to the next round.
Ready for battle.
Never stop fighting for what you believe.
That'd be quite interesting if they did. I know that Paladins, I don't know if you played it, but and Paladins they do, which is quite weird. Because when I first played it, and I was like, oh wait, I still have my ultimate. When I died like with it, I was like, okay, get the other rounds. I think that could be an interesting game if they did. I think it'd probably be pretty broken actually. Just makes snowballing even worse, but you know. Looks like you are seeing a dive comp on the side of Britney's now.
Winston Ball.
Honestly, not a bad pairing. You don't see it very often, but it's pretty good.
What you want to see with the ball Winston dives, you want to see the ball slam, so that way the Winston jumps, you got that double AoE damage on it, and then also everyone's stunned in the air for the cleave.
Oh, really good displacement there by the ball, knocking the Ryan and the D.Va off the high ground. The anti on the Ryan, that's a huge anti from Treebeard there. Res is off, directly in their face, really good res again. Looks like the picks are going the way of Britney's, I think. Maybe not. It's so hard to call it on this. They are, in fact. There you go. Very up in the air for a second. Just the Torb and the baby D.Va left for the side of... Oh, McCree's on the high ground, okay. Does choose to roll back. Oh, D.Va is stuck here. If they can... Okay, that's actually really good that D.Va can manage to escape there. Does get antied, but managed to get out of her mech. Winston is nanoed early here, and there comes the Molten Core just to stop them approaching. It's a really good zoning ult there. And Winston unfortunately does go down, and Zen too. That was a really good Molten Core there, I liked that. The Winston was nanoed to allow the allow Britney's to push in, but the Molten Core just takes away any space that they can use to do so. Effectively isolates the Winston and means they have to push back.
Okay, again, another example of where an actual zoning ultimate is a really good job of zoning.
Exactly. And it does get us some picks too, but the only reason it gets picks is because it forces them to have to back out, which is kind of what you want. The Winston is completely stuck. He can't push in because his team won't be able to follow because of the Molten Core. Wrecking Ball ult used early here just to push them back. Oh, I like the idea of this. Winston is trying to push the Ryan, and he does. Winston was pushing the Ryan into the Wrecking Ball there to do a lot of damage, and does get the final blow as well.
Oh, Shadow's feet shut down.
Oh, was
Cypher.
it?
Yeah.
Huge. Just the Torb and the D.Va left. They need to try and demake this D.Va really quickly before the respawns come back, I think.
Speaking of respawn.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the demech. Reinhardt instead of Winston now on the side of Britney's. I'm gonna just brawl on point a bit while the ball pokes. Oh, that's a massive bomb, and the shatter too onto the Reinhardt. Trans was used and does keep the Ryan and the Zen alive, but unfortunately, I think it's not gonna matter for them. They need to just reset now, I think. Yeah. With the eyeballs going down, that will be a reset. Although Junkrat has been stuck here. Does Junk escape? No, Junk gets hard staggered there. That's unfortunate. It means they will be going in with 5v6. And again, one of those situations where they're going to have to touch point. And you'd like to see how they do that here. They have both DPS ults, and they do have nano. The ults are very even here.
What I want to see is Cypher go in, dupe the Diva, and then Norris tire from spawn.
Huge for Creo early, just to zone them off point and get the Lucio. Oh, the tire is huge!
Tire.
And that's a 4K from the Junkrat, but with the res, it's still a really even fight. They could go either way. Huge anti onto the Rhine here.
Mine.
Oh, and the Shatter though. Britney's are still managed to stay alive, and they've got the mines on back of point here to zone them a bit. Oh, but the pin is massive from Sammy. These antis are massive, yeah. Still really back and forth and could go either way here. Oh, Ana does go down to the top though. And the bomb coming out and gets two. It's just Wrecking Ball left on point now for Britney's. Trying to contest, and it's not going to be enough.
Alright, so Effie Zulus winning map number 3 in this series. Honestly, really good job by Effie's again, just managing their ultimates, and good job on Living Truth on that Torbjorn, going up to that high ground and killing that Ana. If that Ana doesn't die, I think that Britney's would have capped that point if the Ana hadn't gotten harassed at the end.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good pick. Really good target focus, as you say. I think the longer these fights are going on, the more they favor EPs. If Britney's can make sure they're getting picks earlier and making sure they can keep their target focus, I think they'll have a much better shot here.
Agreed.
It just feels like the second a fight lasts longer, especially just with the comps as well. I think it is partly a composition thing. It just always seems to favor EPs the longer the fight goes on.
I say if it's a quick engagement, Britney's definitely take care of the more quick lightning engagements as well as the ultimate based engagements at the start where they actually use ultimates. But you know, I think that kind of is also going to go back to some of the communication that I said probably started before. I know everyone always comments, you know, you're in the casting, you don't hear the team's comms, but you get a feel for it, and you can tell when a team isn't communicating as well as another team just by watching how they play. Right. You know, Britney's, I think, just had communication. It was communicating decently well on Oasis, but Gibraltar, I feel like there was just a definite lack of communication on their attack at times.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It felt like they were getting a lot of good picks too early again. It's just they then just weren't managing to follow up. The Diva would stay in mech when they needed to get demech'd, or there'd be somebody out of position just not getting focused quick enough. It does make you think that maybe they just need to make sure they're communicating who they're focusing a little bit more, a little bit quicker.
Absolutely.
These are still really close fights though, and really close maps, but yeah. Just a small difference, I think, on that map, potentially.
Alright. So speaking of maps, so the one map that we were going to figure out and know automatically what the end result will be on the scoreboard, but nonetheless, let us head into Temple of Anubis to figure out what the actual on-paper score is on 3, 2, 1, now. You know, Sai, you just said, isn't Temple of Anubis one of Junkrat's better maps?
It's one of Junkrat's best maps. It is still a horrible map. I hold that opinion. I'm good at Temple of Anubis. It's Temple of Anubis defense, especially. This is just junk heaven. I just really don't like the map design personally. I don't like. It's probably my least favorite 2CP that's in active rotation. I do think it's better than the two currently removed maps, which is Horizon Lunar Colony and Paris, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about Anubis. I don't like it. It's just the tight corridors. There's just tight corridors, whichever way you want to attack, on whichever point. You have to go through a tight choke. And I think that's good to have tight chokes that you can be forced through, but not when you're forced through them again and again and again. You have to go through 3 tight corridors just to get to the point. I think that's where it becomes an issue, and it just favors some team compositions above a lot of other team compositions, you know, like Mei, Junk, anything like that is really good on this map. And we do a really quick sim attack on the point by EPs, but the picks are going inside of Britney's just collapsed into them really well here. That was a really good rotation by Britney's actually to just collapse upon EPs as they attack point.
Hey.
I think you almost just charged into the point to contest.
Hey, it works.
Oh, it absolutely
Sometimes
did
that's
work.
all you gotta do, just put your Ryan in the middle of their team. Do some swinging. Some teleport is out, and they are speed boost onto point. They're doing nice rotations here on EPs, and there's the charge again, as you say, just straight into them. Is the counter charge from Crazy though? Oh, but both supports are down from the side of EPs, but they are getting the picks. That's some massive picks, actually.
The other team's dead, you don't need to heal.
I really liked that sim wall there. You had both supports go down, but they could just use the sim wall as natural cover there.
New defense point. Objective B.
And going into the second point, it looks like Ult Economy is favoring just the defense. And that's a huge EMP. Not sure if the combo was slightly off there. I didn't notice if they got shattered or not. I might
Some
just
people
not
got
notice.
shattered, I didn't.
Okay, okay.
Though.
I wasn't sure if the EMP was slightly before, but I do like that combo. It's a bit of an underrated one. You don't need the EMP bomb every time you want to EMP, you know? And that's a really nice hold there, just to stop the snowball here. And that's what you like to see from Britney's too. They have a lot of ults, but they only use the 2 to win the fight. They don't over-invest, which is something I have noticed a lot this season series from both teams. Really nice bob on point there to stop the approach. Huge bomb though. And that's 2 quick picks. Huge pick from the Ashe onto the Lucio, as well as the res coming up on the Reinhardt. Bomb comes out, doesn't get anything, does push them back a little bit. He did still have the Ashe on the Mercy, kind of in the back. Just shooting them, and there's the Doom Fist coming in too. A nice beat, does actually keep the Lucio alive through the pin. Mortality on point, there's a lot still in here. And Ashe has put up another Bob just in the backline being uncontested.
Shadows again.
Moira does push on it now to take rough position, but this looks like it might be looking at a hold here for EPs if they keep getting these picks. Huge pin to the back. Ryan is going to go down. It's just the Sim and the Moira now. And the remaining members do choose to just get out from EPs. They do get a tick there. They get 58%, but it's a really nice hold.
So it's unfortunate they couldn't get that second tick, but you know, really good job by Britney's there, just recontesting that point time and time again.
I do think an issue that EPs were having was the Ashe and the Mercy just rotated behind them, behind the point, and was not contested, it looked like, by EPs. And Ashe managed to build up a new Bob in about a minute. Nice early picks there from Britney's. But Cat does get 2. As the trades, it's going on the side of EPs right now, I think. A nice pick by the Doom onto the Sim though. You obviously have the respawn advantage of the defense though. Oh, but another nice pick by Doom, and again that's EPs just using the back out here. They might be able to catch Cat out of position. Cat does escape. Really nice job there to actually manage to get out. And a huge pick though. Treebeard's like, no, you don't actually get to escape. I'll just make you think you did. Nice pressure there though from the D.Va, but the res does come through.
Decent amount of ultimates built up here by Effie's now. All but the Junkrat tire, essentially, at this point. On the opposite side, though, we see a decent amount of ultimates also built up by Britany's.
You like to see ults used early here, and there's a shadow on the Reinhardt.
As well as the Coalescence.
Not able to follow up entirely. Oh, the counter pin, but the bomb comes out. Both the bombs come out. Oh, but it is huge for Britany's. The counter pins there, just as both bombs exploded, meant no shields for either team. But it came out so much worse for EPs there.
So we went from a lot of ultimates online to one ultimate online.
That is a big ultimate to have though if you are EPs. You've got 23 seconds and you now have that beat which you can use to engage on point. And here it is, used early, that's just where it should be used, a really nice ult. Oh, the pin though!
Ooh,
and some early picks here from Britany's. The beat wore off and there's just so much damage into them. There comes Shadow taking down the Winston. And again, this is just clean up here. Unless D.Va can get 6k, but it does not happen, sadly.
6k remake, go!
One day we're gonna see that happen in the league game, and it's gonna be crazy. But not today.
Score.
You know,
0-1. Switching sides.
there was no Torbjorn. And Anubis is also a pretty good Torbjorn map at the end of the day. Especially second
you
point.
You could 100% see it here. I wouldn't be too surprised actually to see potentially who's attacking. I honestly could see them running.
Britany's to be on attack.
I could see Efi's running Torb Junk here. I don't know if they will, but it would not actually surprise me too much if they did. It depends if they want to play it safer potentially and have the hit scan just in case of a complex fire or echo. But Torb Junk can be actually quite oppressive on this map.
Yo, turret best hit scan. Changed my mind. Turret don't miss. I miss. Oh,
I was actually doing a scrim before Nova, and we had a Torb and we didn't have a hit scan, and I was like, I don't know if not having a hit scan is going to be an issue. Like 2 seconds later, our Torb just headshots the fire, and it's just like, okay, fair enough. Who needs a hit scan? There you go, you do get your Torb. Torb Bastion, that is a comp.
When you know you need to hold first point, so you're just
honestly,
clamor up.
Yeah. Don't blame them at all for trying it. I hate it, but I don't blame them. It's a good idea here. Bastion is going to be set up on the back high ground though, which is interesting. She does not have the Bastion behind the Ryan. I don't hate it because it's going to be very hard for them to actually pressure the Bastion that far back. But obviously they may struggle to get the initial damage onto the choke. Actually no, Bastion's positioned very well here. It's really nice LOS. Huge wall though to separate the Ryan and the Torb. Ryan does get the pin and Ryan takes down Ryan, and that's both Ryans down really early in this fight. The Mercy does mean that EPs do get the res though. Oh, that wall! That wall was massive. Ryan charged in there and the wall just instantly went up and they collapsed onto Crazy. That was a really nice play there by the Mei. Cole used here to aggress well. Get everyone alive. Mei wall again, zoning off the Bastion LOS. I really like what they're doing with the Mei here. That is a good pick though from... Oh, the pin! And Reinhardt does push up onto the high ground. Pin the Bastion. Oh! The Shatter and the Goo on point though, and that's gonna be That's gonna be a regroup for Brittany's. I really did like what I was seeing from Brittany's though, with the rotation and the Mei. I like that they use the Mei wall to zone out the Bastion damage and then approach and then get a good pin. I think they did everything right there. Just really good ult usage by Eefies in the end. Yeah, I'm really struggling with names. It's
Okay, I'm just letting you go.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually. You know, it's just, you know, it takes a while.
Okay, Brittany's looking to this high ground. I like this high ground rotation. In comes the
Oh,
blizzard
huge
though.
Mei ult, and that's gonna trap. Look at that. That again, talking of the Mei play here. You see the Mei ult, and then you see the wall behind the Bastion to stop Bastion escaping. That is massive Mei plays. Really good grab on point though from Eefies. Chad doesn't get anything, and Reinhardt does go down. And this is trades again, but the Reaper getting 2 picks here. This will just be clear up for Brittany's. But yeah, that's extreme. That's a perfect example of how to play Mei comps against Bastion there. That was such a good wall and such a good blizzard.
Objective A.
I think Yarbles wants his shatter back.
Defense point.
Maybe.
So I was spectating against POV at that point, and he just kind of went, huh?
Just a little bit put out right now.
Yeah. Love you, Yarbles. Oh, Diva Bomb over the corner when they push in.
Did you see the swap to the Pharaoh actually from the Mei? That's an interesting swap because I do feel like they were getting a lot of value on the Mei. I don't know if that's just because it's a bit more of an open point potentially. Oh, Shadow comes out.
Send the bomb. Send it. Yes.
And here's the bomb coming out and the Reaper ult too, and that's just huge
That's
picks.
a lot of kills at once. That might be it there.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
hard
on
to see
stalling,
how they
though.
can hold here. Do you see the Wrecking Ball swap? Which is good. Can Wrecking Ball contest again? Oh, Wrecking Ball cannot.
And with that, we have a tied series, which neither side nor me knew that it was going to be a tied 2-2 going into map 5. Nope, nope, nope. Like, that's definitely not the way the rules work.
That's a really good map though. I really liked what Britiny were doing on this hack. I think that's been they were looking their most coordinated they have all night there, I think. When they were running the Mei, I think it just helps ground them a bit, helps them know, okay, we need to play around this ability. And it means they do play a bit more groups, they play a bit more focused. I think that's looking really good from them.
No, agree 100%. I say it's looked how they played that attack. Their comms looked a lot cleaner.
For sure. Still really good ult usage though by both teams, especially as I said, Eefies there had some really good fights they won purely just based on really good ults in fights they really should have lost. These are both really good teams, and it's been a really good match so far. I'm interested to see how map 5 goes, because as you've said a couple times, neither of us know who wins this.
Yeah.
It's maybe from Co's, but we have no idea, so that's definitely exciting going into.
Alright. Here's what I'm going to predict.
Oh, you want me to predict?
No, well, I would say I'm going to make a prediction, and then you can also make a prediction.
Okay, you did like a long pause. I was like, are you waiting for me, or?
If Brittany's is able to engage in at least 80% of the fights as a team and use ultimates, they will win. That's my prediction.
Honestly, I can respect that prediction. I do think looking at the map though, with being Route 66, I do think that does automatically, in my opinion, give the advantage to Eefies, just because they have looked so confident on these type comps.
It does, absolutely.
As long as Brittany's can, as you say, make sure they're coordinated, make sure their target focus is there, make sure they're not getting too split by the dive, make sure they're actually rotating effectively. I think Brittany's can win this. I do personally think that they're going to have a really hard job, because I think Eefies have been looking really clean when they've been doing these dive comps. They're a bit scattered, but they just always seem to get the better of these more like split fights. The less like brawly the maps are, the more it favors Eefies, in my opinion. So I'll be interested to see how this goes.
Alright. So without further ado, let's get into the last map in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, series currently tied 2-2 between Effie Zulus and Brittany's Fears. Had to remember which Brittany it was.
Honestly,
And
I just call them Britany's because I do not know.
so heading into map number 5, Route 66. Alright, so
Well, this is interesting actually. It
Effie's
looks like
not showing dive, they're showing a Reinhardt brawl here.
interesting. As I do think that on the brawl it has just mostly been favoring Britany's, so it's an interesting choice. That being said, they did do a good job on I'll remember the map in a second. Gibraltar, when they had to be forced off of the Winston, they did still do really good on the Rhine. So I don't know if it's just the map type that favors them, or if it is actually the brawl itself. But the dive itself. But we'll see how this goes. We do see Guinevere on the Hanzo again, put in some real work earlier, and Truth on the McCree. Sammy and Cat on support duo together. You love to see that.
Sam Warfield getting killed early here on the side of Britany's.
I like how tight Britany's are holding here. Oh, but that pin! Oh, I was going to say they were holding really well on that corner there to not allow them, but the pin to engage is huge. They are backing up well though, they're not... Okay, that's unfortunate, that's a huge pick by Hanzo. I was going to say, they were backing up to that corner well to make sure they're using LOS, now they're down their Rhine, but the aggression of Beefy's here just... effectively just falling on point into them, it's just... At this point, you probably just need to full regroup if you're Britany's, because they're just going to keep pushing you forward, they're going to keep getting these picks, and they're pressuring the Rhine here, and Rhine goes down.
So, remember how I said...
I'm curious if they will choose to engage this or just deploy, and I think they are going to touch. No, they don't, okay. I don't know if that was miscommunicated or they just chose not to give it. Steve did drop, but they are backing out now. Carry on, Evan. You're saying something?
I'll say my prediction is kind of coming through from the standpoint Britany's are not right now playing very much together. They're kind of splitting off and getting themselves staggered.
That's a huge pin, but again, just the early pick from the Hanzo on the side of EPs. Those really nice picks though. They are pushing up. They've got to push the Murphy here. They do.
And
there you go. This is where Britany's are looking good, when they can get these fights where they can get an early engage pick, and they can push up and they can clear up fights really quickly like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just making sure they can do that most of the time.
Right.
Look at ults here. We've got 11 ultimates
over under 9.5 ults used. I'm saying over.
I think we're gonna see everything except maybe Mercy ult on EPs. I can honestly see every other ult being used.
So you're
we'll
also taking the over.
Oh, Alan's wrong. It's the first ult. I just hate my predictions. I give up. Huge Shadow Bomb combo there with the picks, and honestly, that's the fight win, I think. EPs. I'd like to see them hold the rest of their ults here. If they do, I'll be very happy. And it looks like they are, and also Britany's in the defense have held their ults well here. They have recognized that we've lost this fight, we just back out, we keep our ults and we regroup, and that's really smart from both teams there.
Well, I guess it was under 9.5 ults used. Oh, that's a big dragon.
Really nice dragons. The beat though is really good there, just to I was gonna say to allow them to get to point, but Chuck does go down trying to push point. And the Nano coming out onto the Rhine. And that is the last of Efi's ults use, and I really do think if you're Britany's here, you just keep your ult. I don't think you can win this fight on point. Unless she gets some amazing picks, it's just the Mei right now. Mei's contesting well, they could be regrouping to push up though. But it looks like, maybe not communicated because Mei is contesting but the rest of the team are backing out. They might be choosing to hard group up, which you know isn't an issue. I just wonder if they're on the same page on that. Pretty nice counter pin there from Yarbos. Mortality used to keep him up. That's a really nice pick on the Ash.
Oh, big
the
slam.
shadows though. big shadows from both sides. Reinhardt does go down. Bob is behind. Just stopping. Oh, good sleep there. I was going to say Bob is just stopping Efu's from pushing up, but the sleep there just means they can again. And look at all this space they still have just to keep pushing up as they wish. I think they need just to use Diva Bomb early here just to try and zone them out because they need to have some position in here to actually hold. And there's the bomb. That's a good bomb, I think. Nice pick on the Ana. Mercy resin behind. That is so cheeky. Cat just walks behind them and gets the res onto Hunter. That was huge. The wall is really big though. Ryan does go down. Dragon's not going to get anything, I don't think. It looks like that will be a hold from Yarbles. Not Yarbles. From Britiny. I'm really tired.
Yarbles is the entire team.
Oh, yes. Really nice beat there again, just to keep them alive, because they were split there. I think there would have been a couple picks. The 3 ult 2 and the nano coming in, just allowing the Ryan to get so aggressive. A huge anti there too by Sammy. And it's just cleanup right now. Britney's do have 2 ults if they can touch point. Shatter is big, and they can hit the contest. They do have mail if they can get this onto point before they go down. I'd like to see them use that really early here. Does go down with mail, but does get the freeze onto the Rhine. And there's the picks. They do get the Rhine and they get the Hanzo, and this could be his bomb onto point 2. I think the recontest here, yeah, I think really good recontest. They have actually managed to hold it. Really nice mail. May did go down using ult, but just managing to get the freeze onto the Ryan and get the Ryan out, as well as the pick from Ashe onto the Hanzo. Did you see the Doom switch here too on the side of Britney's? So no May anymore. We'll need to be very careful of that McCree, because that stun can punish Doom really hard. Dragons does come out onto point. Beat used just to help keep everyone alive here. Doom and Kree having a little 1v1 on the side, and Kree does win that. Oh, the pin and the nano. Here come all the ults. Oh, trading Diva Bombers, but that is going to be everyone picked off from the side of Britney's, and Doom getting pushed back and can't contest. And that will be a cap with 35 seconds remaining.
Score 0-3.
It's a lot of ults there at the end, and just too much for Britney's, I think. EVs are just playing hyper aggressive with this Reinhardt. They're playing directly into them, and Britney's almost always seem to be having to back up because of it. I don't know what the changes they need to make it so they can hold position better, but at the moment it just feels like EVs are just able to cleave their way through.
Well, it's not necessarily a composition change, but right now Britney's is just catching. That's all they're doing is catching and absorbing the blows from Effie's at the end of the day. They're not. The way to fight aggression is either one, you make an immovable object,
doesn't feel right coming back here.
or 2, hyper aggression. Right? There's more aggression than what's being tossed at you.
Right, you need to push back a little better maybe.
Yep. Which I feel like grouping and just saying, screw it, we are going forward, damn it.
Even just put in as many resources they can into their Rhine to make sure that they can get the better hand, because at the moment Hunter is just getting every resource from Effie's, just allowing him to just push through. Playing a very hyper aggressive Reinhardt actually. I don't know if I've seen Hunter on Rhine before, but that aggressive style needs to be met and countered, because at the moment I think it is just causing Britney's a lot of issues. You have Ryan comes again from both teams. D.Va does get D-Maxed early here.
So
A little bit too aggressive, maybe.
See.
Really nice pin. And the counter from... I actually really like the McCree swap here. I think that might help a lot with their Rhine issues, just having the stun to put into Hunter when he comes forward.
Hold up now.
Hunter goes in deep here, and will he be punished? He will be punished. A little bit too aggressive there, I think. Immortality has been used though. Oh, and Dragon's coming out. That's a really nice Dragon just to zone them off. I think he was trying to zone them off the high ground, but I think they'd already dropped though. But it does push them back, making them have to regroup a little bit. Oh, that's a nice pick by McCree onto Ana. Mercy does get the res, and look, the Reinhardt is back now. They just couldn't push in quick enough, it felt like. Ryan does go down instantly though, and that's a big shadow onto D.Va. Pin to get the D-Mac. Not quite the D-Mac? Okay. And there's the bomb. Oh, huge bomb! Huge bomb from Nerfless there onto both the supports. I think that the Nano kept the D.Va alive from the pin, because Yarbles did pin the D.Va, but she just didn't get D-Max, I think because of the Nano. So the Nano usage there was really good, because it did actually allow them to stay alive to get that bomb off, which effectively won them that fight. Res coming out on the McCree here.
Healing stream engaged.
Dragon stirs within me. Hardly a child.
That's a huge pick by Hanzo. Unfortunately, the issue here is Hanzo is building up these dragons so... Oh, that was some massive dragons. Hanzo's building up these dragons so quickly. He's just uncontested pretty much on this high ground, sitting there with the Mercy. And I think even though they have been struggling with it, I think just having some sort of dive here onto the Hanzo, you have the D.Va, but D.Va alone trying to pressure a Hanzo Mercy is going to be tricky.
Wait, because they got two people. D.Va is one people.
Yeah, exactly.
I have three people left, two people.
If you hold Storm Arrow and wait out until D-Matrix has been used too, you can D-Mac a D.Va so quickly with Hanzo. And there's another pick from Hanzo onto the Mercy. Renovit's getting early picks time and time again here, just completely shutting down these fights effectively.
Dude, it's already got another dragon built up.
Look how he's got dragons again, yeah, he's gonna have dragons again for this engage. That's every single engagement he's having dragons. Really nice McCree ult there though. And that should be the picks they need. Both DPS ults getting good value.
Say Live in Truth staying in the back line, gonna tie Noon from behind when they go on to contest.
They did use 4 ults there, which does give the ult money in the... Oh, and that's a huge pick onto the Baptiste early on. Creed does go down, but the ult economy here is just heavily favored EPs. There's the dragon on point, here's the bomb, here's another bomb, here's all the triangles.
Gets a couple picks.
That was a huge bomb by Nora though.
Oh,
there is trades, but it looks like... Oh, Shadow coming out. It still looks like it is going inside of... It is... I can't call it, it's so close. But it looks like they might be able to...
It looks like it's in favor of Effie's right now.
Respawns from Britany's are coming in. The Creed does manage to stay alive, which is really important here. Oh, the anti though! The anti onto the Rhine and the Mercy. Mercy does get a huge res though. Battle getting consistently good reses all game. This ball on point. Another anti onto the Reinhardt though. Sammy has been hitting these so consistently. Pulse does get the D-Mech. Huge pick by Callie onto the Ana. This is so back and forth, but without the Reinhardt here, it does seem like Britany's are unable to win this brawl on point, and that is the map and the game going the side of Efies. A 3-2 win in what has been a really good series.
So now, Sai, you and I know who won this game.
We do. Probably the last people to know, but
Hey, I intentionally try to make it not make it not knowledgeable to me. However, that would be regularly said when
Mhm.
I have to cast a game with replay codes. But yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
you have
purposely
it.
didn't check. It was honestly so much more exciting going into it blind, not knowing who's gonna win. I think Eevee's on balance probably did deserve that win. It was a very close game. There were a lot of back and forth fights consistently. I just think that there were just times when Eevee's just looked unstoppable for certain periods, like there on Route 66 especially. I think that was probably one of the most one-sided maps. It felt like Britiny didn't know how to deal with them.
Mm-hmm. No, agree. So I mean, and I think honestly, kind of, the main takeaway, I feel that Effie's just communicated better than Britney's at the end of the day, because there's a lot that goes into communication. It's not just like, coordinating like ultimate usages, but you also got, coordinating a dive or a target priority or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it might have been target priority, as you said. I think just a lot of the times, if they were getting quick picks, when Britney were coordinating who they were targeting, what they were doing, they were looking so strong. I just think they needed to get a bit more consistent with that.
Mm-hmm. Let's say yeah. But at the end of the day, communication is something that a lot of teams struggle with at the end of the day, and it's also something that's easier to improve upon.
Exactly. Both
at
these
it.
teams have really good mechanical skill.
Mm-hmm.
Just building onto that, in a way, it's a lot easier to build coordination, even though it takes a lot of practice, a lot of making sure people are following what each other is saying, making sure you know who's shot calling and stuff like that. Although it does take a while to build on that, just when you can get that sorted, you could be such a strong team. Both these teams were already really good teams, don't get me wrong. It's to take them to the next level. If they can just make sure they get their coordination down, it's a lot better than having to work on improving mechanical skill. It's something I struggle with personally with my play. I can't improve my mechanical skill, and that's my biggest issue. And it is really hard to work on that, in my opinion, more than it is on communication, because it's a lot harder to just say, oh, just aim better forehead, but when you can actually just work as a team a bit more, as a unit. And I think that might have just been the small difference today, but as I said, both teams played really well. It was a really close fight.
Absolutely, best say. Any time where it goes to map 5 and a 3-2 series, it's gonna have been a close game.
Yeah, it really was.
Let's see. Oh, Ook and Crow say, thank you for casting.
They're welcome. I hope they enjoyed
they
the cast.
were here the entire time.
I appreciate their dedication, especially as I'm sure it's a ridiculous time of day for them too. I say as if it is for me when it's like 11 AM, which really isn't ridiculous, but it is for me.
It's almost 5 AM for me, so.
I was gonna say, yeah, a bit more ridiculous there. Are we going to do MVPs?
Oh, sure, but I'm gonna be honest. I'll let whatever you say, I'll give my thumbs up to.
Alright, that's the deal then. I think I want to start with DPS, if that's okay, just because for me there was a particular standout player, and I think it showed especially on last map, and that is Guinevere, which is, I know, as Sovereign. On last map, I think played absolutely ridiculous on the Hanzo. I do think got away with a lot too, not particularly being as fresh as probably needed to be considering the work he's putting in. But I mean, you saw that last map. I don't know how many how many dragons he actually had on that defense in like a 4-minute period, but it felt like a lot. It was literally every single fight he seemed to have dragons, and he'd always get good value from it too.
Absolutely, and then let's say before that, he also they also had a lot of good plays on Sombra on prior maps as well. And just being able to open up avenues for them to play and the team succeed. Like really,
I can't remember what the other map he played Hanzo was too, but he was getting really good picks then. I think it might have been Yumbani. I'm not sure on that one. But in general, just as well as not just the ultimates, but as well just getting early picks each time. Just every fight pretty much would just have one pick, and then you go into a fight with 5v6 when you're on Britney's. It's just like you're at an automatic disadvantage just because of the plays he was making. For support, I really liked. Sorry, I've just got to check names real quick because I am bad with them. I really liked
Ball, Ekat, Tree, Sammy.
Bao. That's it. Sorry, I try to remember names. I'm really bad with them. I think Bao's Mercy was looking really good, and honestly consistently getting such good reses and cheeky ones too. I think there was a lot of that from both teams actually. Cat was getting a lot of those as well, but I think the Mercy play was really good across both teams. I just really liked seeing Bao just getting the res like in the middle of the team, taking a good angle. I think it was just really good to watch. I do like watching good Mercy play, so one of my favorite support heroes. I just think Bao played consistently really well. I think there was that strong support play from both teams. I think Sammy had some ridiculous antis, especially on that last map. He was just hitting them so consistently. There was really good Ana play across both teams as well, actually. I think the support's really hard because I do think that pretty much every support played so well. I think
this was if you wanted to watch a game where supports played well, this was a game where all the supports played very well.
It definitely is, yeah. It definitely is for me. Then for tank, this one gets a bit harder in my opinion, especially because I noticed that EFIS especially would have a lot of people playing different roles. They'd have some people on tank, some people different people on tank each time. I do personally think that Nerf This on D.Va was doing a really good job. I think there was a lot of stuff going on, but I think Nerf This was at least extremely consistent for me, which is what you like to see in your D.Va play. He was particularly taking the high ground when he needs to. He wasn't getting in too deep and getting demeched unnecessarily. He was just making sure he had his escape planned. He was getting really good bombs. I just thought it was some really nice D.Va play. I said there was some really good tank play across both teams. Don't get me wrong, it's just that's personally who I thought stood out the most.
Thumbs up from me. As I said, whatever you said, I was gonna roll with. Unless if you came out of left field and like said someone on a role that they didn't play, that would like time out. We can't do that.
Someone not even in the team, just like, I think that I should get MVP actually.
I say we give Ook tank MVP for tonight.
Agreed.
Yo, Crow support MVP for tonight.
But no, that was a really exciting series. It's been really nice to actually get to cast that. I'm glad that even if it wasn't done at the time, which is a shame, that we have been able to bring this to stream, because that would be such a shame not to have that game on stream somewhere.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was really fun. You sound very tired, Evan.
Just slightly. It's at the point where I start to wind down here, and I definitely need to take a nap before I get up for the day now today. So yeah, that's going to conclude our broadcast for this morning. And I say this morning, as you can tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Central for another broadcast from Bronze Tacos League. And it is a mild tier match, if I'm not mistaken.
It is indeed.
Red Fox Mafia, I think, and...
It's Red Fox Mafia and Nebula.
Well, there's the team it is.
I'll be casting that one too, actually. So
let's say it. So Sai's getting the good old double header. Luckily, he gets a break between his double headers.
I got a nap in between them. That's what I'm gonna do.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that should be a fun game. I think I'm trying to remember the league record at the moment. I think both teams are 2-1, unless I'm wrong on that. I don't want to quote on that. I might be wrong, but it should be a really fun game. I think. Obviously, I'm affiliated with Nebula, but I'll remain unbiased. But I do think it should be a fun showing. There's some really good players on both teams. I think the DPS fights especially is going to be really interesting to see. So yeah, I'm excited for that game tonight.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that should be a good one. So if you guys want to tune in tonight in approximately 15 hours for that matchup, just tune in right here for Bronze Tacos Overwatch. So once again, thank you for tuning in for the broadcast. I was Fritz on cams, joined today with Sidomia for main casting for this special edition of Bronze Tacos League. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast and have a wonderful rest of your day.